Hello. We are in pre-production mode for the Xander Gibb show. I'm the Xanderman. I might have understood that if you were Japanese. We are going out live to the nation, to the internation, even because we're going out internationally on Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere. Everywhere. We are everywhere. For tonight's episode of the Xander Gibb show, got a great show for you tonight. Why is this not working? The wonderful technical problems everywhere. There you go. For tonight's episode of the Xander Gibb show. Don't know where that's coming from. Got a great show for you tonight. We do
Why
intend
is this
to.
not working?
The wonderful. There we go. Got rid of that echo. See, we're cooking with gas already, folks. Apologies to anyone that cooks with electricity because we do not wish to offend. On the Xander Gibb show, because no, we are not offensive here. I am just sharing the links. I've got a fan in my eye. Don't know what his name is. But there we go. Just sharing the links that we to show that we are live on the Xander Gibb show. Maybe I should do the whole show in a Scottish accent. Welcome to the Xander Gibb show with me, Xander Gibb. We are in pre-production mode here in the Highlands of Scotland. We're not in Scotland, really. But imagine if we were. What fun we would be having. Drinking whiskey and eating haggis. Has anybody out there actually tried haggis? I love haggis. Ask your Scottish friends, folks, what haggis is like. I love me some haggis. So, if you have just joined us, we are in pre-production mode for the Xander Gibb show, and we are sharing to various places, which means you can do the same. You can click that share button. And I just realized I closed the page too early, but never mind. We have the technology. We can rebuild him. Wouldn't it be great to be a robot? Does not compute. No, can't pay my taxes. Does not compute. Hello to everybody who is in the live feed already. Hello to Kala. Hello to Janie. As I said, we are in pre-production mode. I love haggis. And there's another dish that's very similar to haggis called mealie. Mealie pudding, they call it. I have Scottish ancestry. And I love Scottish fare. But you can't tell me out there you don't like shortbread. You know I really do love me some shortbread. I'm just sharing the links. For those of you that like to watch me on the big screen TV, I am just putting the YouTube link underneath the show link. You know what's in it? Yeah, I know what's in it too, but it's not much different to sausages. Let's face it. I know what's in sausages, but we still eat that. Thank you, Janie, for sharing. I've got a weird eye. I was in, hello, Roger. Welcome to the show. I did get your messages, but I wasn't sure what they were referring to, and I was getting ready. I was in makeup, and I was just gonna say I will respond to you after the show. When I was in makeup, when I was in makeup, you know, ladies, when you get this little weird eye thing going on, this like weepy eye thing going on, I've got that, and I don't know why. I don't know why I got a weepy eye, but I'm hoping it will sort itself out. during the show. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to go to this page here. Click that share button. Oh, yes, sirree, we are cooking with gas. Apart from that horrible noise. We are just sharing to various pages on Facebook. We have a new lighting set up. I'm just watching to make sure I don't share to any groups that I'm not supposed to share to, because they get really angry. There we go. We can share to there, and there, and there, but not there. There, there. There, there. We have got a great show lined up for you tonight. Some wonderful topics. As usual, I will get to say hello to everybody. Hello, my Gina. We'll get to say hello to everybody individually as soon as I have finished sharing, and I think we're nearly there. Where are we? Yep, I think that's about it. I wish this weepy eye would stop. I command you to stop. There we go. Nearly there. We are there. And we are ready to start today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show. Cue opening titles. Going in 5, 4, 3, 2.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were never bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and era don't dictate.
Hello, and welcome to today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xander Millennium Network, live from an undisclosed location. I am Xander Gibb, bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. On tonight's show, I get on my soapbox and give you the chance to get on yours too in our phone in. And in part 2, I break down today's hottest topics with Reactionary Times Editor-in-Chief Julio Rivera. You can have your say in the feed below, and as usual, I'll be sharing your comments as we go. And you can follow me on social media and check me out at xandergibb.com. Don't forget to click like on the Xander Gibb Show page, the all-new Xander Gibb Show page. Make sure you click like on that. I'm coming over to the live feed now. I'm changing over mices. I am going to make the page smaller so that I can see exactly what is going on, because it doesn't let me do very much in the bigger page mode. I'm still in this trying to get 20/20 vision going. Here we go. Let's go backwards and say hello to everyone in the live feed. Hello to Janie. Hello to Carla. Hello to hello to yes, is in the live feed too. Hello to my Gina. Welcome to the show. Hello once again to Roger. Hello to Carla. Hello to Mike. We were talking about haggis in the pre-production mode of the show. Yeah, the word stomach turns me off too, but you have to not think about that. WPI, yes, it's very annoying. Roger says, just made a couple of observations regarding those posts. All right, yeah, I will check those out after the show. Hello to everybody that is in the live feed or is watching but isn't in the live feed. Hello to Dave. Welcome. Don't forget that Goats Lives Matter too. Hello to my brother Chet out there in Long Island. Welcome to the show. Hello to CV, my other brother CV. Welcome to the show. Hello to everybody else that's out there. If I have missed you out, I am sorry. I think we've said hello to everybody. So let's jump into a couple of points that really struck me today. So the failing New York Times did a snow job on Tucker Carlson regarding his apt Tammy Duckworth commentary, saying that she confronts his nativist smears. Tucker never said anything about race or ethnicity, yet in typical liberal fashion, the MIT took it there, and it's disgusting that will teach Tucker to highlight the leftist modus operandi to break down, dishonor, and get rid of our founders from our history, however imperfect. Now, they say Tucker's show must be canceled. I say, that's what I say. I can't say it, but I'm sure you know what that middle finger means. The sanitizer. Not heard that one before. CV. Yeah, this is the concern to me. With the left, they always go to this place that's just non-existent. You know, there was nothing in his commentary, Tucker Carlson's commentary, that was racist in any way, shape, or form. It was more about her commentary. But I don't know, they always have to take it to some other place. CNN host Don Lemon said President Barack Obama should be added to Mount Rushmore. Sculptures of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Whilst discussing in California, a couple charged for painting over Black Lives Matter mural. They were charged with a hate crime for that. Can you believe that? You see the right-wing machine kick in. And Trump's polls numbers are apparently going south, but I don't believe that either, Don Lemon, whose middle name is clearly Bitter, Don Bitter Lemon. Is this what you want from Joe Biden? And they are taking your country away, and they are going to take down the tax Jews. So listen, Don, you big homo. I can say that because if it's okay for black people to call other black people the N-word, surely I can call Don Lemon a homo. As a fellow homo, you know, shut the hell up. We will give you a call to add Bathhouse Berry if we ever have a monument to gay Kenyans who live with gay men pretending to be women with crisis kid actors for children. Yes, we will indeed. Got that off my chest. Have I ever been sanitized? No, I haven't been sanitized. Your puns are not doing you any favors tonight, CV. Have you ever been Burtonized? There you go. So Dr. Deep State Fauci says it's a false narrative to take comfort in the lower rate of death. There's so many other things that are very dangerous and bad about this virus. Don't get yourself into false complacency. How about you get out of China's pocket, you idiotic, pathetic, unpatriotic hack? America deserves better than you. Kindly stop the scaremongering and misinformation. I mean, when is Donald Trump going to kick this a-hole into touch? I'm really concerned that he is still giving advice because he's not on the side of the Trump administration. He's not even on the side of America. He is clearly getting paid by China to do this. Hi to Yaz. I hope you're good, and I hope Lily is good too. Janie says concerning history. Oh, she shared her link. I can't look at the link right now because I am broadcasting live. So to my next point, Governor Gretchen Whitmer said that she was prepared to take the heat again if she imposes new restrictions on the reactions to rising COVID-19 cases in Michigan. We're going to continue to monitor the numbers, Whitmer said during an interview with CNN's New Day. If they keep moving up, we're going to dial back if we have to. And it's the last thing any of us wants. Yeah, right. I took a lot of heat when we brought that curve down. We saved thousands of lives, she added at another point in the interview. I'm prepared to take the heat if that's what it's going to take to keep people safe. I want to ask two things, Governor Hitler. Did your jackboots come from Amazon yet? And secondly, don't try and pee on our leg and tell us it's raining. It's clear why you want to not open up your state so you can do mail-in voting and so you can have a better chance at fraudulent votes in order to win the election. And that's the only way you're going to win the election. Enection. It's a new word, the enection. Hello to CV. Yes says yes. We're good, thank you. We both miss you, and we will see you when this pandemic is over. Hope you are staying safe. I am indeed. Thank you very much. I'm feeling well, actually, apart from this weepy eye that's going on here. Gina says, hi, chat. Secretary Mike Pompeo, with respect to TikTok, said what you'll see the administration do is take actions to protect that information and deny the Chinese Communist Party to the private information that belongs to American citizens. So I don't know if you know this, but TikTok is owned by China. And apparently they're actually doing naughty things with that information. So I think that you can ban an app in a country, but I don't know how you would get the app banned everywhere. So I'm not sure what CV's thing is with all this sanitized stuff, but we will find out tomorrow night when he is on the show, when I can chastise him better when he's chatting to me in person. But I have a thick skin. Yes, I do. I've been rhinoized, not Xanderized, or whatever you're calling it, sanitized. We've got time for a couple of calls. If you are in the United States of America, you can call us on 845-363-4747. But if you're calling from the United Kingdom, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. Hey, Chet, have you been Burtonized? That's a more important question. So the lines are open. As I said, if you're calling from the United States of America, you can call us on 845-363-4747. Or if you're calling from the United Kingdom, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. If you've just joined us, you are watching and listening to the Xander Gibb Show with me, Xander Gibb. Or should that be Sanitized Gibb, CV? I didn't think it was an insult, CV, at all. I was just playing along with you, brother. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments for calling Don Lemon a homo, but I really don't care because, you know, if I can, like I said, if black people can call one another the N-word, surely it's okay for me to refer to other gay people as homos. You know, it's perfectly acceptable. Oh, yes, sirree. Don't forget about our drinking game. If you are watching, apparently I say the phrase, oh, yes, sirree, quite a lot. So if you want to take a nip of whatever takes your fancy when I say the phrase, oh, yes, sirree, you can go ahead and do that. Our lines are open now. If you're in the United States of America, you can call us on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. If you are in the United Kingdom, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. We have our first caller of The evening. Welcome to the show, Chet. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Xander, it's Chet, and yes, I have been sanitized. It's true.
Yeah, I didn't get what that was about, but you know what CV is like. He has his little.
Well,
Go ahead.
I have an idea of my own of what it could be. It's when you stop watching fake news and you listen to Xander Gibb every night, and you get the real news, so you get sanitized.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. We'll have to get that on a T-shirt as well as Goats Lives Matter and Oh Yes, Sorry. All of these catchphrases are building up. So what has jumped out at you today? Is it okay for me to refer to Don Lemon as a homo, being a fellow homo, or is that discrimination, or should I not do it because he's black?
No, I try not to watch Don Lemon. Unfortunately, I saw the story. He's always been obnoxious. He's a complete racist. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Can we admit that Don Lemon's a racist?
Yeah, but isn't that true? Isn't that interesting that he hates white people, but his boyfriend is a white guy? Isn't there some? I bet he gets some. I was going to say something, then I better change what I'm going to say. I bet he gets a difficult time. I was going to say. I'm just going to say. I was going to say. Bet gets the pounding in the bedroom, but I didn't mean to like him that way. Because why would you date? If you're white, why would you date a black person that hates white people? I don't get that. Whatever your sexuality is.
He probably has that mental disorder called liberalism, and that's why you do it.
Yeah.
Maybe he feels he has to give back. Maybe this is his form of reparation, Xander.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about that lately. I saw in the Bronx today, I think it was today, but I saw the video today. In the Bronx, a woman had her sneakers taken off her feet by a black person as part of reparation, and then they got pounded by the crowd for doing it, knocking this old lady over. And as this black woman limped away, she felt she'd been hard done to because she'd been had 7 kinds of crap kicked out of for doing that. But when is this attitude going to change? Because nobody should be touching anybody. Nobody should be attacking anybody, let alone stealing their sneakers. I mean, I think a woman has a right to shoes. Let's be clear about that.
Well, when's it going to change? I don't know if it's ever going to change, but it can certainly get a lot better. I always hear from certain commentators in the conservative world that say race relations are getting better every year. They were until Barack Obama was elected to office. And then it went terribly south. Before Obama, we rarely had any of these types of riots, and if we did, like what happened in Los Angeles, I mean, it was a riot. There were a few people that died, but they put the kibosh on it. You didn't see it again.
No.
And now all of a sudden, ever since the Mike Brown incident, it's just been riot after riot after riot. And it's really disturbing because I notice with CNN and MSNBC, Xander, they're not willing to show you the violence against the police, and they're not willing to show you these people destroying the community. They continue with that lie that these are protesters. Say a lie enough, it becomes the truth. They only show you the good stuff out of it, which there's very little of. And these people are being emboldened. There's a lot of crime going on right now in New York, in California. It's an uptick of crime, mostly black on black, and kids died. You saw the numbers in Chicago last week.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like that every weekend, isn't it? And I think that, Lori Lightfoot has a lot to be answerable for, not just for looking like, an extra from a zombie movie. But I want to just go backwards a little, Chet. Why? It's an interesting suggestion to put Barack Obama on Mount Rushmore. I mean, I'm all for being put on Mount Rushmore, but let's just drop him by helicopter, they call him. We'll just leave him there to fend for himself. That would be a great reality show. But what has Barack Obama done for the United States of America or American people to warrant having his his mug being put on the side of Mount Rushmore?
He created all this division. If it's a Mount Rushmore for what we've seen over the past 10 years with people killing each other and people attacking each other over politics, and it's always the left that does it. Don't tell me it's not. Anybody out there listening, I don't care to hear it. It's always the left. And Barack Obama, if he was to have a monument, that's what it should be for. It's ridiculous to even make that claim, though. But, the thing is, and me, CV, and Brian talk about this all the time, Obama did what he wanted to do. When people say it was a failure, you have to understand, not for him, not for the socialists, and not for the universities and the professors that are poisoning our children's minds. In that world, he is the Mount Rushmore, I would say.
Well, it was mission accomplished, because I don't doubt that there are people that have been planning these things for long enough. I actually believe that Barack Obama was a plant. Barack Obama was schooled to do what he did, and I think that's why he did the things that he did. He clearly had an agenda, and when in your last couple of weeks of office you give millions of dollars. I don't know what that figure was, but all that cash that he gave to Iran, you can't tell me that was the act of someone that loves the United States, because it clearly wasn't.
And all the money that he gave to Palestine. I mean, the most anti-Semitic president that we've ever had.
To Iran,
he was
you mean?
A puppet to. Yeah. We gave money to Palestine, too. We gave them billions of dollars.
Oh, really?
When a week before he left, by the way. And I can show it to you. It's not on crazy news sites. You can find it in Breitbart, Fox News, people at National Review. People act like this never happened. It did. And yes, to an extent, he was a puppet. You're right. And it was kind of like a three-headed beast with him, Valerie Jarrett, and I would say Big Mike.
Yeah.
They are going to become, and this is what we need to fight against, Xander, if any of the Obamas ever get elected again, this country would be gone. It would be gone. There's no way we could survive another 8 years of what that man did. But what really pisses me off, and still pisses me off, is we're having a tough time reversing a lot of the damage he did, not because of the Democrats, because of the Republicans. You see the big super PAC that they put out with all these wishy-wash rhino Republicans that are trying to motivate people to vote for Joe Biden.
But a lot of
man that can't even remember who he is.
Joe who? The thing is, the concern for me is that a lot of these Republicans are as bad as the Democrats. I'm not sure if after Donald Trump's period of tenure, I don't know if I will continue to call myself a Republican. I only became a Republican because of to support Donald Trump. But I don't feel like they represent me, and I don't mean as a gay man. I mean as an American. They don't represent me in any way, shape, or form, because they're just there are elements of it that don't even support the Trump administration, and that concerns me too. We wouldn't have won that election as Republicans if Donald Trump was not at the helm. So they should be damn grateful that they had a contender that was powerful enough to actually do this. And this is how they continue to treat him. But I thought they were going to try and stop him from being the contender, didn't you?
Yeah, I think, the big issue is there's a lot of globalists that might as well call themselves Democrats in Republican clothing. And that is a horrible thing to see. I always vote down the line Republican. I can't vote for a Democrat because they just don't represent me anymore.
No.
There is no chance that I will ever vote Democrat again unless hell freezes over, Xander.
Yeah.
But, you get these wishy-washy rhinos. Last year, I'll say it, for the governor in New York, I voted for Larry Sharpe. libertarian, because the Republican on the ticket was a disaster. And we actually had Larry Sharp on a few times, and he said, this guy wants to take your guns. And, you know, as you start looking through his record and you realize that Larry was right. He was a horrible, horrible candidate. And you don't have much a chance to win in New York anyway, but I still wanted my vote to count. That's the most important thing that we can gear up for in November, and have family, have something. If your elderly aunt can't get to the voting booths, you get her there. You got to vote for Donald Trump.
Without a doubt,
it won't be going through the mail. Would be a disaster.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, it's interesting. When I was a Democrat back in the day, I used to say that libertarians were Republicans with cleaner shoes. I had
some truth to that.
Yeah, I had some crazy ideologies back then. But I don't know. I just think that I wake up every morning and I see all of this stuff, because obviously I have to collate a body of stories to put together and write into some semblance of a show, you know, just like you do every week. And I scratch my head, because I think the world has gone freaking mad. It's just so unbelievable that we're experiencing and seeing the things that we're seeing in 2020. And they put it at Donald Trump's feet. But the issue really is that, you know, they put it at Donald Trump's feet, but it's because they want him gone. Because even in just the 3.5/4 years that he's been the president, he's done more good than anyone in the last 50 years.
If you ever get a chance, or anybody out there ever gets a chance, check out Trevor Loudon's movie called Enemies Within. It is a really disturbing documentary about how the Democrat Party is aligned with the Communist Party USA. It is alive and well.
Yeah.
It is not gone. It is supported. It is funded. We got Chris Murphy. He's affiliated with it. He's right down the road in Connecticut. We have Chuck Schumer. These people funnel money into the Communist Party USA, and that goes through the DNC, and that's why they're starting to put people like Ilhan Omar into place, and trying to basically overthrow what the country is all about. That's what Obama said when he got elected. Fundamental transformation. What does that mean? We know what it means. It means no more Christianity, no more straight married men, no more daddies for the children. The government wants to control everything in your life, and it will get worse. And if we keep it up, we're going to end up under Sharia law.
Oh, for sure.
Bottom line.
Have you noticed that even some of the newscasters are talking about the New World Order? I mean, go frick yourself. You cannot, in the United States, talk about the New World Order. There's not going to be a New World Order, so shut the hell up. And the thing that really concerns me is that this is what they're working towards. Because let me tell you this out there, people. If Donald Trump does not win this election in November, go and find another country to live in. Go and live somewhere else. Come and live in the UK. Because I will not be coming back to live in America if Donald Trump is not the president. If the Republicans are not in power under Donald Trump, America is over, and it is that simple.
Yeah, you got to really, really be vigilant right now, and they're doing everything they can to him. They're throwing every monkey wrench they have at him, Xander. You know, the story that the New York Times released, which is an absolute lie. President Trump, as I've said with you before, loves our military men and women. He does so much for them. All the work that he has made with the VA, where they can actually pick their own doctors and they don't have to drive an hour to go get some care. Yeah. I think they deserved that a long time ago. John McCain and all the lily white Republicans that don't represent me, checkered pants Republicans, globalist scum that never stood up for our military men and women, and it took Donald Trump to get in the office and do something about it. And they never talk about it. That's what ticks me off.
But you can't mention John McCain because he was a war hero. So you can't say anything bad about him, even though he was, an anti-American chump as far as I'm concerned.
It's stupid, Vander, because there have been military men and women that joined ISIS. So
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to say, well, he did serve. I mean, yes, he's following the caliphate and he beheaded some people, but don't say anything because he served. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But the interesting thing for me is that they have these rules and ideologies that they live by, but it only works as far as Democrats. Because if we were talking about a Republican that was a veteran, they would say, "Oh well, they've done something wrong. It doesn't matter. We can say what we please." So their ideologies only work as far as their own people.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime I see a Democrat standing up for the men and women in our armed forces, I kind of, I'm like, no, it's not real. It isn't.
No.
It's just not real. All the things that we have had take place in our United States military under Barack Obama, it was hindering our military.
Yeah.
He was defunding the military. There's a good one. He was defunding our Air Force, our Army, our Navy. He was defunding our Marines. He was putting people in place. He was putting captains in the Air Force that never, ever even flew a model airplane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mind-numbing how any Democrat can sit there and say that they represent our soldiers. They don't. They hate them. They're the ones that spit in their face when they came back from Vietnam.
Yeah. And do you remember when Barack Obama said to Israeli people, if a Palestinian comes to attack you, stand down? What does that tell you about his leanings? Because, if Donald Trump was talking to Israelis and they said, Mr. President Donald Trump, Palestinians were going to attack me, he'd say, protect yourself in every way you need to. But this excuse for a president said, stand down. When I saw that, I was flabbergasted. I thought, how can anybody in power turn around and say to people that are being attacked, stand down? Even in America, we have the right to defend ourselves and the right to bear arms.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me of the gun-free zone. How many attacks did we have in this country under Barack Hussein Obama because we had gun-free zones? In our military bases, by the way. Our military bases were gun-free zones. That's ended. Donald Trump ended that.
Wait,
I think it's great.
Except
we
when
should be able to defend ourselves.
Wait,
or at the very least, stop the son of a bitch from killing everybody.
Except when some guy went rogue and shut up the whole base, and that happened several times. But if there had been people that had guns there, they would have been able to stop that person in their tracks.
And then and you remember the one over in I believe it was Fort where was it? It was in Texas, I know. The last name I think was Hassan, and he was a doctor, and they knew that he was talking back and forth with ISIS. And even when they gathered all that information, Obama was still saying it was workplace violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sad part is, Xander, the liberals and the I don't want to say the left, basically. Let's just say the left, they eat it up and they believe it. Either that or they're on the wrong side. And that's probably more accurate.
Dave just mentioned something that I think is quite interesting about, you shared a video with regards to, Black Lives Matter terrorizing churchgoers, and they're still saying that was just peaceful protest. It should be a basic right to be able to go to church without anyone interfering with you. I mean, the Democrats don't want people to be able to go to church. Oh, it's okay to protest on the street, but you can't go and pray to God. Oh, but don't sing, because there's more chance of you catching COVID-19 if you sing.
Well, that footage that Dave's talking about was disturbing. There are also little children involved. And these guys were just being terrorists, you know.
Right.
That's all it was. Antifa's a terrorist organization. So is Black Lives Matter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, you know, something's got to be done about that. They went inside the church. They didn't accost anybody, but they certainly made some people there fearful, the women and the children. Luckily, there were some big boys that attended that church, and when they kind of stepped up, you saw them kind of shrivel away like the violets that they are.
But doesn't that happen all the time with these, you know, with these idiots when they think that they're? I saw a video of this guy, you know, black guy with a gun, and this woman pulls out a pistol and shoots him in the leg and kicks his gun out of the way, and then he's crying victim. You know, you can't cry victim when you're the attacker and you get stopped in your tracks. You're not the victim there. You're the chump that's being schooled.
Yeah, and the victim card bullcrap is getting out of hand. There's a video that came out of Maryland. It was a police officer, and he was restraining an individual, a big guy, and the guy was grabbing for his gun. He had his hand on the man's pistol. And the cop was choking him because he didn't have any other choice.
Yeah.
And the people filming were like, he's got him in a chokehold, look. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? The guy's grabbing his gun. What's he supposed to do? Play Parcheesi with him?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
I mean, how mind-numbing are these dumb liberals?
You know, when I was a kid.
They are so stupid. And
For sure.
They annoy the crap out of me.
For sure. You know, when I was a kid, my brothers, I've got 5 older brothers, and they said to me, Zan, if someone attacks you, don't fight fair, kick them in the nuts, because that will stop them from coming back at you. Because if you're a guy and you've ever been kicked in the nuts, that you know how painful that is and how that debilitates you phenomenally. So you should not have to fight fair in that kind of situation. And even if you're a cop, you know, if a perp has got your gun, if you've got to smack them in the face and knock them out to do it, then that's what you got to do, because they could shoot you or they could shoot other members of the public. And, you know, it sickens me that so many cops in the United States are on murder charges right now for doing their jobs. And there's no wonder that most of them don't want to do it anymore. You know, the left wants a lawless society, and it looks like that it's heading in that direction. But I think that things are going to change very soon. I mean, don't you think that once Donald Trump gets reelected, that he is going to really get tough and kick ass? Because I think he is, totally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And he's thoroughly behind the police. He's thoroughly behind them. He says it all the time. He makes sure to always mention them. He makes sure to always mention our veterans. He loves the country for what it is, not what they want to make it.
Absolutely.
Because nobody's going to love what they want to make it. You heard Ilhan Omar, we have to take everything down because this is a systemic system of racism. And, you know, listen, you camel humping whore, you're lucky that you were elected in a place like the United States of America in that shithole district with all those damn rats that voted for you, where Obama carted them in with the stench from ISIS. Thank you very much. Now we have ISIS members as senators. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's one way to get voters, isn't it? You know, you ship them all in. Hi to Chris. Welcome to the live feed.
And that's what he did.
I'm going to be talking to Julio Rivera about Ilhan Omar. I have some real concerns about that woman. But, you know, what does she have to do? You know, what does she have to do to be kicked out of Congress? You know, Republicans all of the time are getting censured for far less. I mean, to me, there should be both sides of the aisle. It should be equal. If you do something wrong, then you need to be censured and sanctioned for it.
They should answer for all the crimes that they've motivated over the last 10 years. We had a congressman that was shot on a baseball field. The person that shot him was working for the Bernie Sanders campaign. And it's it's a known fact. It's not fake news. It was all over the place. Anybody can look it up. You'll find links from Fox News, ABC, CBS. There's no doubt about the fact, and I'm surprised that all those news organizations actually admitted that, but he was working for Bernie Sanders and was trying to kill as much conservatives that he could that day. He just wasn't a great shot like most liberals.
Thank God. And thank God that Steve Scalise survived. Steve Scalise survived. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But thank God that he did.
Yeah, and he's a good man. Steve Scalise is, the most straightforward, down-the-line Republican, votes for his conscience, makes sure that our rights are protected. He's a guy who never should have been targeted, but that man went there because he was sick in the head, and no doubt about it, when he's working for the Sanders campaign, he was probably told, Republicans want to kill old women. Republicans want to take away your health care. They don't want women to have their reproductive rights. Isn't that all the terminology, Xander, that they use is like the very direct opposite of what it actually is. Reproductive rights. Oh, you mean killing the baby inside of you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the brainwashing is palpable. There's no wonder that these guys go on a killing spree. Can I just say very quickly, if you're getting kicked out of the live feed, please keep coming back. I'm sorry, I have no control over it. Facebook obviously are concerned about the level of power I have over you guys.
It looks like a lot of people on the live feed, though, with the number on the top, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to leave it there, CV, chat. There you go. I don't know my own name most days, I'm Marjorie. You can just call me Marjorie.
2 in the morning over there. So.
Yeah, it is. It is getting on for 2 in the morning, and I can't even have any coffee because it would, keep me up all night. But thank you so much for now. Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Check them out at freedomondeck.com. And the show is Sundays 3 to 5 on. You tell them.
No, just say WJJF.
WJJF. There we go. All right.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. Have a great night. Take care.
Take care.
That was Chet Martin, as I said, from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you go and check them out. And their show is Sundays, 3 to 5 Eastern. So my next guest is political commentator, and he is the editor-in-chief from Reactionary Times TV, and I caught up with him earlier to break down some of today's hottest topics. Please join me in welcoming back to the show the one, the only, the fabulous, the editor-in-chief of Reactionary Times, Mr. Julio Rivera. Welcome back to the show, Julio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on, Xander.
It's always a pleasure. Let's jump right in because we've got much to discuss today, and I want to start off with one evil person who is kind of really concerning the whole of the United States, and those that aren't concerned by her really should be, because when Ilhan Omar got remarried in March following her divorce from her brother, which was left unpunished, the Minnesota Democrat tied the knot man who was a member of her political consulting team. Now, data shows that Omar has paid Tim Minette's consulting firm a total of more than $878,000 since 2018, including $189,000 just weeks after the couple announced they were husband and wife. Now, the New York Post has reported this, and I tend to trust them more than any other New York publication. Now, clearly, the rules with regards to the Indems does not apply. This year, Minette's E Street Group has received more than $292,000 from Omar's campaign for digital advertising fundraising services, which was reported in April, citing data from the Federal Election Commission, the FEC. Now, payments for 2019 totaled more than $500,000. Now, Omar's campaign is her husband's firm's biggest client by far. Talk about casting couch politics It should not be allowed, Attorney Richard Painter has said. I think it's a horrible idea to allow these campaigns from special interests, yet Ilhan Omar calls for dismantling America's systems of oppression. Yes, very oppressive, but very lucrative. What say you, Julio?
How dare you attack Ilhan Omar with facts, truth, and statistics and information from the FEC? Are you a bigot, Xander? Are you xenophobic?
Yeah.
Muslims that like to marry their brothers? No, I'm going to be completely serious here. This is really scary that we've allowed this level of evil into our Congress. Listen, next year, I was just reading a story in the New York Post, the same newspaper that you quoted as you did your entry here into this segment. The Mets and the Yankees are going to play a game on 9/11 of 2021, which is going to be only the 20th anniversary since 9/11. And now these type of radicalized Muslims are in our legislative body. I mean, this is really, really crazy to see how far gone America's gone in such a short period of time. But this is something that certainly should be investigated by the House Ethics Committee. The problem right now is that people like this that want to, be lawless, like, an Ilhan Omar doesn't want to subscribe to the rules, don't want to do what's ethically right, is the fact that the Democrats still hold control of the lower chamber. So all these investigations are only going to be started if, the ranking member, not the ranking member would be a Republican, but if the chair of the Ethics Committee, which I believe used to be, if I'm not mistaken, used to be Elijah Cummings before he died, but I'm not sure who it is now, but it's certainly a Democrat. A Democrat would have to be motivated to want to open an investigation against her.
Yeah.
Which is not going to happen. They're going to protect her. So she's probably going to get away with this for as long as the Democrats have control of the House. And, and then if the Republicans do take over, it would take having Republicans that have enough, enough stones, let's say, to go ahead and call for that type of an investigation to happen. But a lot of rhinos generally don't like to do things that are confrontational. So she may get away with it forever.
Well, clearly she has, because, even just on the immigration fraud issue, that would, as far as I'm aware, and I'm not a legal scholar, that would cancel out her immigration status, so she would be an illegal immigrant once again, and would not be allowed to have even stood for Congress. Because as far as I'm concerned, not bigamy, what's it called when you marry your brother? When you incest and all of these things are kind of not in the public interest. And so that alone, this is without, the allegations of campaign fraud and then paying all this money to a guy that she's sleeping with and has consequently married. If this were a Republican, the Democrats would be asking for her head on a stick, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah, most certainly. I mean, the Republicans can't do anything and without it being a big uproar. But that's what happens when you control the media. Like, look, you quoted this from some of this information from the New York Post. I'm sure the Daily News didn't run a story on it. No. I'm sure you're not going to see anything about this on CNN.com. You're probably not going to see anybody talking about it on MSNBC. The mainstream media is not going to talk about this nearly as much as they should. I hope that Fox News, which is supposed to be one of our last bastions of defense against this evil that we see on the progressive side of the aisle, I hope that they invest some time into this, because this is something that really should be in the public stream of consciousness. So it should, if let's say the number one news station or news network in America, cable news network in America, runs stories on this repeatedly, then maybe it'll start to sink in people's dense minds exactly what Ilhan Omar is. She's a political radical. There was one candidate that was supposedly, I think, running against her, but then I think she got tarnished. I forgot exactly what the story was. But I don't know why, in a place like, Minneapolis, why the Republican Party, the national GOP, can't invest into running a campaign against Ilhan Omar. Not necessarily to prop up, you want to prop up the candidate and you want to find the right candidate, but maybe just a truth campaign to go ahead and start exposing a lot of these things about her that we've only kind of learned in drips and drabs.
But they're never going to do that because you and I both know they're afraid of being called racist, and this is why they tore down the statue. And I don't know what year it was, but I know it was the Democrats, because there used to be a law in the United States of America that if you were a Muslim, you could not be a member of Congress, and that I'm sure there are some very good Muslim members of Congress, but the ones that kind of, the crap that rises to the top, if you'll pardon the pun, the ones that we see like Omar and others, the example that they're actually giving is just so anti-American. So, and they won't even swear the oath of office on the Bible. So why are they allowed to be in Congress if they cannot work for the betterment of the United States?
Well, I think that the problem is that this is the people the left using the Constitution against America. Because we have these things like freedom of speech, and because America is technically like a non-secular country. I know that we were founded on Judeo-Christian values,
right,
and so much of our governing documents and all that is kind of based on, has a lot of biblical theme to it in a lot of ways. But we really are a country that, you have freedom of religion, but you also have freedom from religion.
Right.
If you don't want to subscribe to religion. So that's kind of where I think the left sneaks in. And that's why eventually I think, if you get enough progressive judges in, where eventually you'll probably have, the circuit courts upholding, Sharia zones whenever people, take them on, or file lawsuits against, the districts that go ahead and enable Sharia zones and things like that, which, this is one of those reasons, honestly, thank God that we have President Trump, and that although a lot of the legislative goals that I thought that the president had and that I wanted to see him fulfill didn't get done, one thing that was consistently done, and it was not talked about nearly enough, was the fact that he remade through these waves of nominations and confirmations of all these new circuit court judges. The circuit courts are a lot more conservative, even though right now it doesn't feel like it related to immigration. Like the DACA decision, there was a decision on asylum that just came down. You can read about that on reactionarytimes.com. There's been, it seems like the courts are not necessarily in his favor yet, but I think the work that he's been doing remaking the circuit court system will pay off down the road.
Absolutely. And you can't tell me, and if people have a problem with this, they can write to me, but you can't tell me that people like Roberts are not getting payoffs for making decisions of this ilk, because clearly he's in someone's pocket, and I would like to know who, because the law is the law is the law, and these decisions should be made based upon what is best for America, not what is best for people's pockets. And that's a complete worry for me of the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, Roberts has been a monumental disappointment. You figure two major pieces that have really destroyed America, right? You talk about where he kind of basically took on the role of legislator and kind of rewrote some of the things, to make it past what he considered the smell test. And then he was able to get Obamacare upheld, and then all the matters related to immigration in which he's taken the wrong side against the president. These are foundational pieces of legislation that are very important to American taxpayers.
Absolutely.
They've destroyed the affordable private health care system. I had an argument with Rick Unger about a month back about this, and he was throwing around, his whatever, because he was a consultant on Obamacare, so he thinks he knows everything in the world about Obamacare. And I basically, told him, like, there is no, the affordable health care, or the private affordable health care system in America doesn't exist. And he goes, Obamacare does. It basically affects the affordable health care, or the health care system in America, the private health care system. And I said, yes, but you're forgetting the word affordable. There's no such thing as an affordable private health care system in America anymore because of the essential benefits, the mandatory minimum, the insurance that the doctors still have to pay in this country. We never addressed tort reform, all these important things. And Justice Roberts has upheld all that garbage.
And if you can't afford to buy, the affordable care, the so-called affordable care, you'll find under Obama for not being able to do so. So that to me is a contradiction in terms. It's the biggest dichotomy ever. And that's a great segue. Dichotomies and black guys that really are ineffectual into our next topic. Because in 2015, Kanye West accepted the Video Vanguard Lifetime Achievement. He wrapped up his rambling. Have we got a problem there with we're getting a lot of feedback?
I'm sorry, did you hear that last part?
Yeah, I'm gonna start again. We're just having a little bit of problem with the feedback. We're talking about Kanye West and he rambling 11-minute speech with the Declaration. And yes, as you can probably have guessed by this moment, I've decided in 2020 to run for president. We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I'm running for president of the United States. 2020 vision, West posted recently on Twitter, quickly setting off the fireworks across the Twitterverse. Whilst I would love America to finally have a black president, in Kanye's case, I was wondering which wine club he was running for. Now, he stated today that he was done with Trump and the Red Hats. Some say this is further evidence of an attempt to take black votes from Sleepy Joe. What say you? And do you find the term Red Hats offensive?
I think Kanye is doing what he feels he needs to do. I think Kanye's kind of found
Can I just stop you for a second? Julio, can I stop you for a second? We've got a lot of interference. I don't know what is going on. It's like a drum in the background.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
it's better now.
No, not really. It's still a bit cracky, but do feel free to carry on.
Okay, can I how about is this better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, that's a lot better. Okay. So listen, I think that Kanye's had his great awakening, and I think he realizes the evil that we're up against with the Democrats. He realized the way the Democrats have destroyed his people, the black community of America. And I think he's willing to, right now at this point, he realizes he has to get down in the weeds and play dirty in order to keep them out of office. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. I don't think that he's against MAGA Nation. I don't think that he's against Trump. I don't believe any of that.
No.
I believe, quite frankly, that what he's trying to do right now is much in the way that, sometimes, the major, one of the major parties will go ahead and run a third-party candidate or throw money behind the third-party candidate to try to sink, an incumbent or the opposition party. I think he's going to take a lot of votes away from Joe Biden. I don't think Trump voters are going to turn around and vote for Kanye. That's not going to happen. I think it's going to be where he's going to take votes away. He's going to take away the low information vote. He's going to swallow a chunk of that away from Joe Biden. It's not only going to be black; it's also going to be white. He's going to have a lot of white votes.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be conservative. He's going to take moderates. He's going to take independents, and he's going to take low information white voters that would generally lean left.
But can you imagine Kim Kardashian as the first lady? I mean, some would have said this as about Melania Trump, but I mean, gosh, keeping up with the Kardashians, the White House series.
They're going to need bigger toilet seats in the White House.
They have not had any fillers in their butt, Julio, so don't suggest it. But wouldn't that be, a lot of people said that they felt it was like a reality show with the president. But at least, Donald Trump has run a multi-billion-dollar company, an enterprise for, over 40 years and has done quite well with it. And that was clearly what was needed for the United States, for someone to actually run the United States like a business rather than a charity or a posturing organization. But I don't think that, with the greatest of respect towards Kanye, that he's got that level of experience to be able to do that.
No, I don't think Kanye West is capable of being president of the United States of America. I don't believe Kanye West is capable of being the mayor of Chicago. I just think he doesn't have the background. I think it's ridiculous. This is, again, the sign of the times where everything is so driven by the media that somebody like Kanye West that has no business running for president is throwing his hat in the ring and he's going to get legitimate national coverage. I'm sure he'll build enough of an infrastructure that he'll get on the ballot on the majority of the states. What he needs to concentrate on, if he's doing what we think he's doing and is really trying to help Trump, he needs to make sure that he gets on the ballots in all the battleground states.
Yes.
If he gets on the ballots in all the battleground states, and he gets on enough ballots where technically he could have an electoral college victory, that will give the appearance to his voters that he is running a legitimate campaign.
Right.
And I think, therefore, then he'll go ahead and get the necessary requisite votes to draw away from Joe Biden to ensure the Trump victory.
Absolutely. Can I just apologize to Kanye for any perceived comparison to Lori Lightfoot from the mayor of Chicago, because I'm sure that even Kanye could do a better job than that woman. I mean, let's face it.
But that's not saying much, because she's doing
No,
a horrible
exactly.
job. And this isn't disrespect to Kanye. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Kanye. I love his music. I like him on a personal level. But there's certain things like I wouldn't run for president.
No.
You know, I wouldn't run for anything higher than Senate. Personally, I don't feel I have the background for it, and I'm not qualified to be the president of the United States of America. I'd be qualified to be a legislator, maybe, because I'm an issues-based guy, and that's what I write about. But certain things, I mean, we're not all cut out to be, you know, the Super Bowl winning quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody plays that role.
No, but you have to admit it would be nice one day for America to actually have a black president, don't you think? And I mean, preferably it would be a Republican, but you know.
Yeah. It's time for America to have a real black president.
Yeah, exactly.
The one we had was not.
Exactly. So let me ask you this final question, Julio, because we've all kind of acknowledged that clearly Sleepy Joe Biden is a placeholder. Who is your money on for who they're going to slide in, either as his VP or slide in when he bows out because he's not well enough to do the debates? And because let's face it, that would be a sight to behold. Joe Biden, that was Freudian. Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Joe Biden is his new name.
Yeah, Joe Biden. He is a burden to his party and to Tom Perez at the top of it. Listen, I had this conversation with Harlan Hill this past weekend, and you can see that on Reactionary Times YouTube to a certain degree. What I think it would be in the best interest of the Biden campaign is to find a woman of color, because he already said he would do that, a woman of color that is from a swing state, very popular in a swing state, or a region close to a swing state, that could potentially help move the needle in a Florida, in an Ohio, in a Michigan, in a Wisconsin, in a state that's critical potentially to the Electoral College. That's where Kamala Harris doesn't do that for him. Kamala Harris is very popular in California. He's not losing California regardless. There's no way that Joe Biden loses the state of California. That's a guaranteed victory.
Absolutely.
And that's not going to change. You know what I mean? Like, bringing in Kamala Harris isn't going to do anything for him. I even think nationally, because if she was that popular, she wouldn't have been, she wouldn't have gotten crushed, trampled in the primary.
No. I mean, I hear she's very good on her knees, but we will leave that for another show.
Yeah.
We do have to leave it there. Sorry?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
No, me either, and for different reasons than you. But tell people about Reactionary Times TV. Tell people when they can watch it and where.
Well, you can watch Reactionary Times TV on Facebook, on YouTube, and this week we have a fantastic guest. His name is Xander Gibb. He's going to be joining the show for the first time. Long overdue. It's going to be the first time you've been on any one of my vehicles since I was doing the Julio Rivera show, #Conservarican, a few years back. So it's been way too long since we've had you on.
Sure it has. So make sure you check out the Julio Rivera show. You see where my brain goes. Make sure you check out Reactionary Times TV this weekend, and not just because I'm on, and every weekend too. Thank you so much to Julio Rivera. Make sure you check him out on social media. Go and follow him immediately after the show. Xander, it's back to you in the studio. Thank you so much, Julio. Have a wonderful week, sir.
Yes, God bless you, sir.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. That was the fabulous Julio Rivera, editor-in-chief of Reactionary Times. Make sure you go and check him out at reactionarytimes.com and check out the show, which goes out on Sundays, and I will be a guest there this week on their show. I'm sorry for all of the pauses and interruptions, etc., that have gone on, but clearly Mark Zuckerberg has a problem with the fact that he has a micro penis visible from space and that he's had to resort to mail order brides, because that's the only reason I can think of that he would keep trying to interrupt my broadcast. Thanks to everybody who has made today's show possible. Thanks to my buddy Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you go and check him out. Once again, thanks to Julio Rivera. Not had your fill of the Gibster. You can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 1 in the UK, and 10 a.m. in Australia. Join us tomorrow for more scintillating chat when Dr. Gerard Lamiro and CV Burton join us. Make sure you stay safe out there. Please click the share button. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. I really do love you all. On Facebook, screw you. I'm going nowhere, and you're not going to stop me from broadcasting. I love you all. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh yes, sir.